For about a century, trains between Crewe and Glasgow were worked by steam locomotives. Then for another quarter century by diesels. In February 1970, authority was given to electrify from Weaver Junction to Glasgow Central at 25 kilovolts. Authority to carry the wires over the border. For a century and a quarter, the semaphore signals and the points were worked by muscle, skill, lever, rod and wire. The signalmen in more than 270 line-side boxes communicated by bell, block instrument and party line telephone. Is it inevitable that old things, old ways ingrained into our lives must be destroyed so that new things may replace them? A complete re-signalling program goes along with the electrification of the West Coast main line. Multiple aspect colour light signals will replace the semaphores. 5 power signal boxes will control the newly electrified railway. Multi-core cables will instantly carry the impulses of information, assurance, warning and command. To re-signal and electrify a railway is a complex of tasks for planners, for engineers, for managers, for skilled minds and for skilled muscles.
No, just a little bit more. That's it.
Weaver Junction is 16 miles north of Crewe. Glasgow is 227 miles north of Weaver Junction. On this long, thin line of communication through the seasons of 4 years, the many tasks were undertaken and accomplished.
Keep the muck coming. That's lovely. That's lovely. All right, hold it.
The construction system was based on a series of works trains. A train to make the holes, a train to mix and pour the concrete, a train and a crane to erect the masts. 10,000 line-side holes were surveyed, sited and excavated between Glasgow and Gretna. 11,026 holes between Weaver Junction and Gretna.
What time's the tea coming out there? Tea? We ain't got no time for tea.
In the holes, the steel masts which support the catenary and contact wires were erected.
Right. Coming down nicely now. Yes, that's fine.
Come on now, boys. Lower it. Now, take it easy.
Lower.
Lower it now. You're all right.
Steady.
Come on.
Steady.
Okay.
Hold it a minute. That's it. Okay, lower. Lower. Right, that's lovely. That's lovely.
At Crewe Works, where once the proud steam locomotives were built from designs by Ramsbottom, by Webb, by Stanier, by Riddles, 30 new electric locomotives are building for the West Coast main line. They're called Class 87. They're rated up to 5,000 horsepower. The wheel sets, the bogies and the suspensions are of novel design. Powerful, enduring locomotives, fit for the debatable shotgun miles of the border country, the lonely miles over Shap and Beattock summits, the miles which link the people and the industries of northwest England with the people and industries of Clydeside and lowland Scotland. Lonely miles of traditional railway, where in 1970, new equipment was insinuating itself. Lonely miles of route, worked and guarded for long generations by transport men who matched the elements with their lives and with their deaths. In the years of the electrification, they erected 1,750 miles of wire between Weaver Junction and Glasgow. South of the border or north of the border, the work on site is much the same, only colder. It's warmer in Crewe works. The Class 87 locomotives are coming along reasonably well now. You can hardly recognize them yet, but they're coming along reasonably well as the year turns from winter towards spring. To electrify the railway also implies improvements in the track. Existing layouts at Warrington, Wigan, Preston, Rutherglen and other junctions must be tortured and teased into modern conformity. Curves must be realigned and recanted so that the overall line speed can be raised. As the year turns through spring towards summer, work on the site, it's a site 227 miles long, seems slow but sure. Warrington, Wigan, Preston, Lancaster, Penrith, Carlisle, Carstairs and Motherwell are the towns that mark the way. Electrification's benefits will be felt both by their people and by the communities which surround them. As the work continued, the people who were doing it, concerned as they were with each separate detail, could sense that the whole big project would turn out well.
Yes, George. I think the stagger's okay.
The power comes from conventional and nuclear generating stations and is converted to 25 kilovolts for railway use. This power is conveyed to line-side feeder stations situated about 30 miles apart. Then, by way of track sectioning cabins, it's supplied to the overhead wires.
Lord, aye, that's it. Aye, that's all right. You want to bleed and get
Yeah,
your
we can't
finger
hang
out,
around
George.
here all day, lads. We've got to get the bloody thing fixed before the train starts. Come on, hurry up. I'm bloody starving.
Ready?
That's how it becomes a practical electric railway. That's how it all begins to come together. At Crewe Works, the Class 87 locomotives are coming together. bodies with bogies, suspensions, cabs, traction motors, controls, brake systems, heating, lighting and cooling systems, accurately interlocking. And now the first completed Class 87 locomotives come together with their drivers. Driver or inspector or signalman or power controller or engineer or chairman of British Railways. You must know and you must understand. Knowing and understanding, you can do your job and be modestly proud of it. Out on the site, the power signal boxes at Warrington, Preston, Carlisle, Motherwell and Glasgow were being commissioned. The men who work them and their backup men can take nothing for granted.
You have to bar the rest of you. Bar the parcel in and then go reverse. Can you manage to do that? Yeah, like that track, aren't you? No.
This next overlap's where we've increased the tensions. After that, the tensions have gone up to 1130 in both wires. Very good. I'll mark that for you.
Out on the site, all 227 miles of it, the mechanical and electrical engineers, in their diesel-hauled laboratory coach named Mentor, were studying the newly built overhead equipment, confirming the correct interaction between the pantograph and the contact wire. Soon there'll be 25,000 volts flowing between them.
Bridge 112. 112. Crossover area. Crossover. About half a mile. 98 miles an hour.
With careful procedures, accurate planning, precise instructions, skill, local knowledge, and native wit, the people who had constructed the electrification for the railway now gave it life. The electric control rooms at Crewe and Cathcart took command.
Ready to close, ELLM.
Right, John.
Taking every precaution, they energized it, section by section. When the Shap and Beatock sections had been energized, it was possible to test the electric locomotives, hauling artificially heavy loads, over these formidable summits for the first time. Could they maintain speed and power without double heading? Certainly they could in theory, but every railwayman knows that there's nothing to beat trying it in practice. This work is the logical extension of the work finished in 1966, when the railway between London, Crewe, Liverpool and Manchester was electrified. The results were spectacular. The Premier line sparked into new popularity, new profitability. In 1974, electrification of the 400 route miles between Glasgow and London is complete. The traditional industries and the developing new towns of northwest England find themselves in rapid touch with the industries and towns of lowland Scotland and with the capital of Britain. Old things, old ways ingrained into our lives have given place to new. The wires are over the border.